That's hard to do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're live. Here we are. We got the guys here. We got a few people in the chat already. I appreciate it. I appreciate you seeing you guys. And tonight is to me, a very special night. I mean, because I think what's getting ready to happen in the Bigfoot world, let's just safely say it hasn't been done before. It hasn't been done at this level with this sophistication, with these kind of smarts and all of that stuff. So I just wanted to have Carrie Arnold, and Bradley Hatcher on from Bigfoot Odyssey to really get down to the nuts and bolts, because all week long, if you guys have been watching Bigfoot Odyssey, you've seen in the hidden existence, they've been doing a great job filtering people through and make sure everyone who's showing up for this shindig here coming up soon, kind of lets us get to know everybody. And there's several people I did not know. So it was really, really good to watch all these pre-shows leading up to it. But for me, being a tech guy and a photo guy, I felt like I wanted more. So tonight's my night to get down to the brass tacks with Carrie and Bradley too, because I want to really go into this this upcoming 168 hours. The making of the documentary. It's going to happen in Florida. We're not saying where. We're not saying the date. So don't ask. This is all about what goes into pulling off such a feat. And so that's what I wanted to get into. And before we get started on that, I just wanted to say I am flying with no mods. It's like wearing no underwear. So if I catch you, leaving comments that I need to handle later, I will come back and we will handle it. I will also reach out to you and we'll talk about it. But I haven't had any issues yet by just simply saying that. I just haven't asked anyone to be mods. If anybody wants to be a mod, you reach out to me. But right now, I just didn't want to hassle anybody because I see a lot of the channels are using the same ones. So I didn't want to get into that. So without any further ado, I wanted to really give a welcome to Carrie Arnold and Bradley Hatcher. And why don't you guys say hello and give a thought or two before we get going?
Go ahead, Brad.
Well, I was just going to say thank you for having us. This is my first time being a guest, and so and Bailey's too, actually.
Oh, and I got a free one. I got a twofer.
Yeah, and so I really appreciate it. I couldn't have picked a better channel to be a guest on, so I thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it. So, Carrie, what have you been up to? Before the show, you said you had some stuff going on or something?
Let me move out of the way. You see this corner?
Yes, I do.
And you can't see it all. There's totes over here. It's all just equipment, cords, batteries, tripods, all the filming stuff, the angle that I'm coming at this thing from. And those 3 coolers right there, the meat's going in that Tuesday. We're going to go pick that up, buying all the dry stuff tomorrow for us to eat. And Brad's bringing a fistful of coolers himself. Yeah. We're going to be filling up. Is my internet okay here?
Yeah, it's good.
You're okay. Fine.
When you mentioned the coolers near the end of the show last week, I forgot what show it was on because you've been on several. I laughed. I mean, you probably heard me laughing because I couldn't fit 3 coolers in my truck when I hook up the Airstream and get my camera gear in there. And then I realized, oh my God, the food and the tents and the whole logistics of this thing. So did you use Excel or is this just all in your head?
A lot of notes. A lot of it is in my head. A lot of it logistically, we're going to have to work out when we get there. There's just no planning for some of these things. I think the teams are as prepared, I think, as they can be. Well, the coolers, I bought the one on the bottom. It's a blue cooler, 100 quart. The 2 right there were given to us by Ed Shaw. You all know him as Cork for Brains. He bought us those and sent them. A lot of things were given to us, so I just wanted to say that while we were talking about the coolers. Yeah, but it's to think about this, what the gravity of just filming it from continuously. There will be no camera. There'll be something going at some point. At any given moment, something's going to be recording. We have audio that will be recording continuously, all out in different places. We are going to have static cameras at the camp facing the woods, just sitting there going. And that'll be someone there just working batteries and SD cards. Those will be pulled. We've got David Dominique. He's our tech guy. He is a retired federal agent, and he is saving all of our evidence, all of our data, and he's doing it in a way, first, that's going to be easy for me to edit. So I can go in and find each individual. Everyone had to tell us what they were bringing, exactly, serial number, and everything for everything that held a card or was recordable. And so he's building a file for each individual piece of equipment. And then what goes into that file will be when it was used, who's using it at the time. It's going to be pretty easy for me to figure out who's using what as I'm looking at it through the timeline. But yeah, it's a very large undertaking just doing the filming. I mean, what we're asking these guys to do is already an extremely tall order, probably too tall. I don't know. I think we're giving it our best chance.
So I wanted to ask you, I mean, you've been doing Bigfoot Odyssey now for almost a decade. Really? I thought it was a lot longer than that.
March 8th. We
okay, so when you
March 8th,
incredible.
2018.
Yeah, because okay, I'm getting the time period, the 6 or 7 years you didn't go back into the woods. I kind of added that onto it.
I've been looking into the subject for about 14 years.
Right. So why now? I mean, you're 3 years into your Bigfoot Odyssey. You've been doing this a while. You're helping out, and I wanted to mention that too. I mean, I don't know how far along I would be without your channel, and I know a lot of people appreciate it. So just allowing people to talk about something that you wouldn't talk about anywhere else if they do have an encounter. I haven't had an encounter yet, but I do know one thing. I'm 100% sure on one thing. I'm going to be so much better when I do because of all the things you had brought out and have told and let other people tell through your channel. So I got to ask you, so why now? Why? I mean, I know it was really last year, but it got delayed. But what made you want to do this expedition the way you're doing it?
I don't want to do this at all. But we are doing it because we can do it. We have the means, we have the opportunity. We've been sitting around long enough waiting for someone to do this. And for it to be as involved as it is, it's a lot to ask of anyone. We just happen to have the means. We happen to know the people that we could get to do this. We happen to have access to a place, a very viable area that I believe it's possible we can do this. So we have to do it. We have all these things in place to do it. We've had the support of the community, my goodness, for over a year now. So we can't, I see it as we can't not do it. We have to do it.
What's going to make this one different? What do you really, I mean, I've seen, from Justin's work and his solo work going out west in the Washington area. I've seen Into the 400 and all those, but what's going to make this one different for you and Bradley?
For me, I think what's going to be different for the viewer is the length and
definitely
and the dynamics involved. There's 19 of us essentially that are going to be doing this, right? And it's going to be a lot of work. But these people have committed themselves to doing everything short, to giving everything short of their lives to get this better evidence, to get something more that people can latch onto and say, yeah, okay, now maybe these things actually do exist. We get the same old, and Christopher Noel helped me so much writing the intro for the show. And I'll give you a little piece of it right here. I'm just gonna read it. Why not? Just
Why not?
just a small segment.
A
I'll
tease.
skip over the beginning. But let's see. This is somewhere in the middle. For the past half century, ever since the Patterson film, the field of Bigfoot research has been essentially spinning its wheels, gathering and presenting the same trace evidence in blurry images in a discouraging endless loop. And that's what it's been. And we want to get something better that people can, not that's going to prove anything, but will convince the average person to at least pay attention. Something
right. So are these really handpicked volunteers from you? Did you put out a call and some people just heard about it and said, hey, I want to go on? Or did you really sift through all of us that are out there and really just cognizantly make a call on why and who you wanted?
Hundreds of people. So many people that wanted to do this.
That wanted to do it, yeah.
Yeah, and I made some people really upset and aggravated. I mean, some backed out essentially once they found out exactly what was going to be asked of them, because I told them all to be honest with yourself first. Wanting to do something like this is ambitious to begin with, and whatever your agenda or your reason for doing it, I don't care. But ask yourself this and be honest. Will you be willing to put your name and your face out there, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, stand on the edge of that deep, dark place that you can't see without a thermal or a night vision, hear something in there and going after it? And a lot of people backed out right there. A lot of people backed out when it was their name and their face out there, and that they were going to have to sit on camera and actually articulate what's happened to them through the entire week. Because that's kind of how we're putting this together. It's going to be kind of like reality TV, only in actual real time. It's going to be very long and shot from so many angles. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to shoot, no one's ever going to see. We're just having it there just in case. We have cameras on the woods. Everyone had three of the people that are going out are going to have body cameras pointed in whichever direction they decide to point them, behind them, beside them, in front, wherever their gaze isn't, is where I would suggest. And there's going to be me essentially probably walking backwards for most of the time, filming them do this. They're all connected by radio. I just got all the radios charged up and ready to go.
Yeah.
And so the communication is going to be there, and it's I have to stop and laugh, and just to think about what the magnitude of it all and what I've actually gotten myself into here. I've really painted myself into a corner with this, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Almost intentionally, but not to this degree. It's just kind of turned into this, and getting input and listening to the teams and trying to formulate shot list. We are going to have some setup shots. It's just to make it, a show, to make it palatable. We're going to have some setup shots, but for the most part, what they're going to do is not going to be set up, and what they're going to say in the moment, it's all going to be real. But we have to have something going at any given moment that I'm going to go through, and I'll pick the best stuff that tells the story and put it in there.
Awesome. I can't wait. So Bradley, you haven't been out here telling us your role and what you're going to do. I haven't seen your face talking about this at all. So I got a multiple choice question for you.
Oh boy, D.
Do you feel A,
I
nervous?
Can't, you're free. On.
Come on, I worked all day on this. Do you feel A, nervous, B, excited, or C, thinking about faking an injury?
Well, I've already been through C a lot the last 6 months. I've enjoyed being very quiet about it, because it almost seems like a dream in a way that we're actually doing this. It probably will sink into me whenever I start that drive to Carey's. And I've hunted my whole life. I know what all Carey has put into this. I mean, he's put so much I mean, thinking about this and, pardon the pun, 24/7. And I don't know what to expect. I think I know what to expect, but yet it's one of those things that I'm not looking at it what to expect. I look at it like we are the first to be doing something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the television shows that have been on in the past, and the one that was on the Discovery Channel for you could stream, I guess, the second season or whatnot. They didn't do anything like what we're doing and what Carrie has come up with, and that's exciting. It's. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? And for me, I like. I believe in the people that Carrie's put together. I mean, everybody's checking the egos at the door, and I should select all of the above. You're right.
That's from Katie.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. But it's just something that's so unique, and that's. I think I believe it's going to really, really help in what all Carrie said to start the show. It's going to get. Excuse me. This is Bailey. It's. I think it's going to be scary. It's going to be extremely tiresome. Some of it could become monotonous, but yet at the same time, whenever you let your guard down, is typically when something happens.
Yeah.
And so it's 1 week out of our lives, and to be able to do something like this, I think that this is going to set the bar, and this is even going to bring out more Monday morning quarterbacks in the community when they see how we do this.
Well, I know you've been working with Carrie on the documentaries when he goes out, especially recently. I think you were on the last one. Do you find yourself being more on the film crew and hanging with Carrie, or are you going to try to really? I'm going to ask I'm going to phrase this. I hope you take the time just to go out on one excursion as one of the guys, and not worrying about disc readers or taking camera, because I know from being the shooter all the time, and Carrie can talk to this too, sometimes you really miss the event because your head is in the documentary, or your head is in the camera angles, your head is in the shots. And what did I miss? What do I not have enough of? Do I have enough, sound bites? Am I getting far enough out? Oh no, I'm way out here. I can't get back. I'm supposed to be in two places at once. So you find yourself kind of staying with the film side, or do you think you're going to get out and
I'll be out on the field side. I'll be out in the field side probably. What would you think, Carrie?
Well, I mean, because of equipment, I think you and Jeff are going to be mainly securing everybody.
We're gonna. It's a lot of it. There's a mental note of what, and I'm trying to think of this in a very cryptic way. I guess
you can't ride the fence all the time, man. Come on.
I know, and I'm starting to host the show again. So Matt, how was your week? Anyway, what do you think about
my laptop?
I'm going to be out in the field as much as I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out in the field as much as I can. The filming side, I know what Carrie's going to be looking for, and so I'm going to be his eyes and ears.
You'll be the Tom Brady in the field, the coach in the field. That's you. I see that's you.
But I've also, I've hunted my whole life, so I've never been a researcher. So there's a lot to learn, and I think there's a lot of people, some of the people that are coming on this trip, it'll be really cool to see it, to understand why they want to do this. But like Carrie mentioned in the open, this isn't going to be the typical, oh, let's go find some DNA, then send it to somebody when we know we're not going to get anything back. Oh, here we have another footprint. That's all important, but that's already been done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my hope is that, and I think we'll get it, that this will be something unique and something different that can actually help the field and help the community and help other people go, oh, wow, maybe I'm not as scared to talk about it now when I see these guys doing what they've done. Because nobody has attempted to do anything like this.
And that's true. You will find that there is something to say about all the listening we do with Bigfoot Odyssey and Hidden Existence and all the channels that are out there, and even Standing Goats Rescue, I guess, and just seeing everyone's experiences all help. It's helped me a lot. I find myself being less jumpy. Because I come back and say, well, it's not like anyone got an arm ripped off and got sent home. That hasn't happened yet. Of course, it's different with this expedition. You guys are going to poke the bear or poke the Bigfoot. Yeah. Okay, so I got something, because you had mentioned, I had heard all this about protection and everybody's interested in it. And I don't want to go too far into that because there's reasons why you wouldn't. And I understand that. But I think that you all really need to do the fishing line about 40 yards out, 50 yards out from camp with the tin cans on it, about a foot off the ground. What do you think about that? The little tin can thing, kick the can, Is that not good?
I'll let you answer that one, Kerry, first.
If we're
no
right,
one's done it. I haven't seen that done.
If we're right about these creatures, I think that would probably be a waste of time. Now, we do have our proverbial tin cans. We've got cameras pointing in every direction. Night vision also. So some of the things we're going to do, we're going to have cameras on. We're going to have cameras in, hoping they come and check them out. They're notorious for raiding coolers in this area. So we're going to give that a shot. Kind of edge one out there, a little close to them. Put a camera in it. We're going to try all kind of things. All right,
well, do one side of the tin can for me, because there's something about hearing those cans being yanked off down the swamp, and you just hear it going farther and farther away, or they come back. I mean, that's exciting stuff right there.
I think they're going to be sitting there waiting, watching.
Okay.
Anyway, because there's people out there already, and this is what's good about this whole thing, is they've been watching people for such a long time and going unnoticed. And I think that's kind of our ace in the hole. I know a lot of people believe things about these creatures, that they're telepathic, that they know our intentions. They know we're coming already. It's not going to stop us from trying. We have to try at
Right.
least. There are a lot of things that we're going to be trying throughout the week, and whatever works, we'll stick with, and whatever doesn't, hey, we'll throw it out the window.
Yeah. Well, regarding the protection, last thing I wanted to say was I was concerned about you guys, so I did call the Justice League today and reached out and talked to Batman and Wonder Woman, and we had Aquaman there, and they just haven't heard of Jeff Townsend, is what scares me. And the only one who did kind of said, like, I think I remember him, was Wonder Woman, and that's kind of why would anyway. Does that make sense?
I think you said something earlier about the tin cans, and I kid you not, 2 or 3, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, okay, I'm going to have a tent. I might have something over the tent. I don't want a Bigfoot to come and mark his territory on my tent by, going in the little fella's room. And so I thought about, what if I hung up a couple Dr. Pepper cans? I swear to God, I thought about that. And then I was like, oh my goodness.
Okay.
But you never know. You never know. I think that they're going to be interested. I think they're going to get irritated. I think that I don't want to be the slowest guy out there.
See, I would be. I got to replace knee, so.
Well, I do too, but I could run fast enough to pull a gun out and turn around. All I need is about 5 seconds.
Oh, I bought this yesterday, Kerry. I never heard you talk about. Are you taking crystal? Are you taking any rose crystal or anything?
No, actually, but I did take some the first time I went to research.
Okay.
And I ended up giving it all to Melanie Zaski.
Okay. So we're at a good part. That was a good intro into what you guys are doing. Now I want to jump into the scope of the exhibition. So we don't need to talk hard financials, but this is quite an undertaking financially, I would assume.
Yep. Really has been.
And equipment. So I want to get into the equipment then. So we know the gear is very costly. Is it all yours, or everyone bringing things that they already have?
A lot of it's being brought. What I've got, about from last year and this year, about $33,000 worth of stuff.
Whoa!
That's what I figured out today. I mean, that's a $6,000 drone. That's $2,000 worth of SD cards. That's $5,000 worth of new camera equipment.
Oh, I have some of that. Let me show these guys. I'm gonna just drop this, layer it right over us. This is a camera Carrie's looking at.
Well, that's cool.
That's the new camera, yeah.
And I got Katie's comment on there. Let me see if I can find where it was. Let me pick a random one and turn it off there. Turn off my banner. There, now you can see it.
I already had an XA20. That's an XF405, which is essentially the same camera as the XA50. The only difference is the 405 can shoot in 4K at 60 frames per second, and the 50 can't. You're going to shoot 4K, it's 30 frames or less, but we're not shooting in 4K with those anymore.
Okay. I have, which I've thought was the ultimate Bigfoot camera. I haven't seen anything that's equal to what I'm getting results from it, but this thing's a monster. This thing's like 4 times what I shoot with. So if you guys think my stuff has been looking good, wait till you see, or maybe you haven't, but anyway, wait till you see this thing, because this thing's a monster. It's going to be great in the field.
Well, we essentially have 2. I'm sorry, Matt. We essentially have two of these that we're going to be using. So.
That's nice. That's super nice. And then, of course, we were talking about earlier, we're not sure. You're going to have, any gimbal for it at all, or are we going to have to?
No, I got stabilizers instead, just because the gimbals won't handle the weight.
Right.
I tried, and appreciate those that helped us get the gimbals. But those are going to end up going to someone else. Matt, you might end up with one of them. Who knows? Right.
So the camera is just, you feel just too long, right?
It's too long. You can't. It won't even calibrate. When I tried, I put it on there and it just flopped forward in one direction. So it's
weird.
It makes it way too top heavy anyway. And I knew it was especially because what I got were some brackets. So you see the top just above where it says Canon, where you can slide a little something up there.
Right.
I've got a 2-way bracket that goes in there that's got 2 of those out on the end, so I can put microphone on one side, infrared light on the other, because the infrared light on these are not that good, not at distance.
Yeah, that would be too much on a gimbal.
It is.
Because on my gimbal's in the other room, but my gimbal's on a shaft. My hands are about this far apart. Then I got an extension that will take it all the way up. It go about 8 feet tall, but where you screw the tripod off is where you would put that bracket where the lights and everything would be. And then you put that little tripod back on. So everything that you would normally ride up on it would ride below your hands. Right. Is how you would have to do that. So
I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a picture of the 2 put together.
Right.
Maybe you can throw them up there.
Right. Okay. And you got you're taking FLIRs. This is a low level one that I have, but you're taking a lot better ones than this, right?
We have 9 total.
Whoa, nice.
From the Scout series all the way up to the drone that I have, Mark Newbill's got about a $6,000 FLIR that Bluetooths to a phone, so you don't have to look through the Oculus there.
And you got night vision.
We do have night vision, binoculars, night vision camera. Chad Datum is bringing our nice Psionics.
Right. Okay.
$600 night vision camera, and I had another one ordered, but it hasn't come yet.
Did I have an old Army night vision one, like the one where you see the green?
Right.
It's actual a U.S. military night vision that I'm bringing, and then I think a lot of us are bringing our own equipment. I know we all have spent money on trying to buy the latest and greatest, and this is a Carrie's leading the way, but this is a huge group effort and of people bringing their own stuff and in a lot of ways, their own techniques, which I'm personally looking forward to seeing. I think it's going to be. I mean, if this was the second one, I don't know if I'd be going, but since this is the first, that is, kind of what it's all about.
Okay,
it's a great learning experience. It's a great learning experience.
What happens if?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Anything like that?
ET or?
Oh my god. Well, the orbs, I don't know. People always talk about that. So I shot that at Home Depot during Halloween. I sent it to a couple friends and they go, "Oh my god, I got to get that." The ones that are into the space guys out there. Well,
we're gonna show up. Whatever happens, you guys are gonna see it.
Yeah. And body cams, is everybody armed with body cams this trip?
Just the field guys.
That's what I meant. Field guys. Okay. So you got
three of them. Four.
Okay.
So essentially everyone except for the cameraman, who that's going to be probably me for the first day, and then I don't know who's going out with the guys at night. It's probably we'll figure it out.
And how many trail cams and
Brad?
Oh my, I think I have like 4 or 5 personally that I've used from, hunting in the past.
Wow. So if you're bringing some and every other person brings 1 or 2, or every other person brings 1 or 2, you're going to have a mess of trail cams too.
Right.
Yeah, we're not putting any of those out anywhere near camp. Those are going to be out. If we put those out, they're going to be out away.
Okay. Okay. And audio recorders. Last one I had to.
Zoom H4n. We've got 4 of those that I know for sure. Christopher Noel has several Olympus that he's bringing. Everyone's bringing. There's going to be a lot of recorders. I want to say more than 10 for sure. And I've got tripods and battery banks, and I've got 128 gig cards for them, so we can take and set them on the tripod out somewhere. I've got the Soundshark parabolic dish with the lavalier high sensitivity microphone. That's going to be carried with one of the group members. Are going to carry that. Everything records, Phil. Everything has to record. We're not taking anything that doesn't record.
Yeah, and Bradley, I was going to say, when you mentioned the one in green, that you have an old one that shoots green, that's fine, because actually, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna bring that in your video system anyway, and probably take it to black and white and do a contrast adjustment on it anyway. So I was looking on that with mine, because mine's a level 3, I think, because I have the new Z2. And I guess the 4 is when it goes military grade or something. So I was messing with the green and didn't like it, but then I realized, oh, wait a minute, that's fine, because I'm going to bring that into Premiere anyway and just do a whole contrast post level on that thing, so it'd be fine. So I'm just curious now which one would work. If the green reacts different to those type manipulations in Premiere as opposed to the other. So I haven't even got into that yet. I'm still dealing with the battery drain, because I had to go get some super heavy duty ones, and then I bought 2 sets of them just to make that thing last 30-40 minutes. But you all saw my test. I told you about putting the night vision on a gimbal, which is my night vision is kind of long too. I didn't think it would work, but it did. But put the night vision on a gimbal, and then the gimbal on a tripod, and then run it from your iPhone. So when that thing's sitting on the gimbal and goes to do a pan, it's like unbelievably, it's the coolest thing I've seen, looking at 100, 150 yards. So I don't know if you have any places like that, but night vision on a gimbal on a tripod is definitely the way to go, that I found out.
Well, I'm going to bring those gimbals anyway. If someone has a camera they can put one on, then we'll use it.
Susie Q asks, if these creatures are so smart, don't you think they will just retreat back until you're gone?
Yeah, probably so. You know, that's the whole thing about this, and that's why it's, you know, we don't have anything really good now. But what we do have is the equipment and the way these creatures act in this place. They just stick their head out and look, and because no one is seeing them, we detect them there and do our best not to give away that we know they're there, and try to get into a position where we can catch them moving. That's the whole thing. That is the whole key to all this, is to try to catch one clearly. Know that's what it is, where you have two possibilities. It's a Sasquatch or it's a guy in a suit. And I chose this particular group of people because of their integrity and the way they carry themselves beyond the film to take away the guy in the suit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what we want.
Yeah, this is what ignorance is going to be bliss. I know nothing. I don't smell anything.
Well, you're going to know so much when this is done, because I love the fact that you're going. I think you're the one I'm probably the most interested in seeing out there, just because I know that you're not out there with us all the time, that you're usually working with Odyssey and bringing these stories out. But to sit there and watch you have a moment is just going to be a highlight for me. It really is.
I will. A lot of what I say will probably be bleeped out if I have a moment.
No, well, you're going to do fine.
Well, and the good thing too, and one thing that I really appreciate is having a moment. There will be other people standing right next to me that will be having that same moment. So I think that the strength in numbers in this scenario is really going to be key, and everybody going into this in an odd way, there's a lot of trust and integrity already there because we're going. So, you know, anybody who's going, you can have that semblance of, you know, I know you'll have my six or my back or whatever. And that will be, you know, that's actually very calming in a way, because this is so far outside of the box. I mean, this is so outside of the box that you know, when you're doing something, you know, this could be like, you know, bottling water, from the sense of, you know, nobody's tried it this way. And so the unknown is a cool factor in this, the unknown.
Yeah. And this is going to be, I mean, you know, I had a question up here, and I've heard Carrie answer it. It was, you know, what is success? You know, what would you think is success on this whole thing? And I've heard you answer it, Carrie. If you want to, in case somebody missed that. But to me, it's just what Bradley said, is that no one has done this, and this is going to be talked about for a long time. And this is kind of like, you know, the whole Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus and golf sort of thing, is that what Carrie talked about with the expense of this and the resources involved and his knowledge to pull this thing off, it's going to be so far up on the, I mean, I've been watching a lot of videos and a lot of channels, and nothing has come close to what you guys are tackling. And it's going to be amazing to see, because you're setting the bar, like you all said up the beginning, so high. I don't see how anyone can reach it. I mean, who else is going to have that kind of money, know the kind of researchers and people you have that want to do this with you, Carrie? I mean, that's amazing. You got a lot of friends out there that's really jumping in on this.
Yeah, I didn't have it, for sure. And it was a few very key people that got involved that made it possible for us to do it this way. Some deep pockets, and we're eternally grateful to those people that do not wish to be named. They just they believe in us, and it's very humbling. I'll say that. But I saw a question on here. It was all in caps, and it was I can't remember who, but it's if I was losing my sense of humor. And I kind of am a little bit. From my perspective here and preparing for this and being, standing on the edge of it. Yeah. I've sterned my sensibilities, I think, a little bit. I can't deny that. I think it's going to come back afterward and everything's okay. But it's just, for me, it's just kind of a point of focus, because you mentioned earlier that when you're out there filming, you're missing what's going on around you. Kind of counting on that, that I have this central focus, because I'm not a researcher. I'm not the average person that goes out and does this. I don't desire to do any of that stuff. I'm perfectly happy having you guys do that, and then me record you doing it, tell the story. That's my charge in this. But because we did have those resources, because I did know all these people, I knew there would be a lot of people that would want to step up and give it a shot. And we had a lot to choose from. I think we chose very well. That we had to do it. We can't not do it at this point, obviously. It's come a long way. I'll say that.
But too, though, is I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Carrie's kind of smart. From the sense,
kind of, just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's past West Texas stupid smart, which you really kind of tell somebody, like a good old boy, West Texas stupid. He's, but like Carrie's like a level above that, from the sense of, he's thought about this for a long time. I mean, he's if you saw what happened last year, you saw the hurt in his face and in his voice. And
very professional.
Well, I mean, it showed integrity, and because it was you were gutted from that sense. But with that being said, I mean, what do you do when stuff like that happens? You just get up and you kick the dust off, and you kind of go, okay, this is the hand the big guy in the sky dealt me. So what am I going to do with that?
Right.
And then it just kind of started, things started happening, and he thought of different things, and just opportunities started presenting themselves with capital and people, and I witnessed it. I mean, when I went to Oklahoma to watch him film this thing, I was shocked that all the detail that Carrie had everything already laid out in his mind what he was going to do, and it wasn't like it was all written down in notes. I need to do this, boom, 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 boom. He just started doing it. And one of the funniest things is I got told to be quiet several times because of those mics, because I thought I was far enough away, and I had no clue what the equipment could pick up. So I think that, and I said, for the first time tonight, and I caught myself, but there's a lot of planning that has gone into this thing. A lot of planning. And when somebody said, Carrie loses his sense of humor, man, he's stressed. There's a lot of moving parts going on.
Yeah, and if he's a lot like me, I know when I have a big shoot the next day at the station, let's say I'm shooting 2 anchors and we're doing a promo, with the Bucks or something. I'll have that pop up, wide awake, sit up in the bed sort of thing, like, oh no, I haven't charged this battery pack that goes with this, or oh no, I haven't, it's those moments that you just can't shake. It's exhausting.
And for people that don't understand, when you say somebody is West Texas stupid, that's a compliment. I mean, that's a really big compliment. And when you say somebody's above that, that's a huge compliment. So if anybody thought I was dogging him, no. Contraire. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff into this.
Hey, Carrie, I got your photo, so I'm not totally stupid here. Tampa stupid. Right. There it is. You want to talk about that?
Those are the filming cameras. What you'll see, the bracket there on top. One side's the microphone, obviously. The other side are infrared lights for the night shot, because both of those cameras have night shot on them. So when I'm filming these guys at night, it'll be really illuminated. Now they have IR lights on them, but they're so weak, 10 feet and things are starting to get really grainy. But those light up things pretty well. They were like $40 a piece, not that expensive, but they last longer than anything else I could have found. And ordering those brackets just makes it a little top heavy, and that made it a lot top heavy for the gimbals.
Yeah. I had that same bracket, and I put it below the first shaft of my gimbal. Then I screw the extension on, and then at the very bottom are the legs. So I put that bracket. I also have one that comes off the other side. I do a double. One can hold a mic or my monitor, and then off the other side I have one that's a handle. And then the handle will actually hold like a mic or a skin cat and that sort of thing on the mic side. Okay, I had one other photo here. Is this Bradley? Is this something you were packing or?
Yes, those are my snipe hunting boots. Those are my snipe hunting boots.
Yeah, you may want more something like this for Florida. Those are mine. Those are the snake boots. So just. Yeah, I'm just glad you showed me your shoes before you went out there, because that could be a potential problem, and you're just going to break an ankle.
I'm glad I'm so trusting in you. That's thanks for setting me straight there. I mean,
oh my God, I just lost off.
I think my especially if I help protect the fellas, that single shot 22 is going to be helpful. It's all about placement. It's all about placement.
I told someone I carried an MP Shield 9mm with me one time. They go, "What are you going to do with that?" It's way too small. I went, "What? Really?" How does anyone know? I mean, someone fire a 9mm with a hollow point at one, and it just laughed, walked away, snapped his head off, and just they never lived to tell about it.
You shoot him in the head. You shoot him in the head with that.
I'll be back in 1 second. I'll show you the difference between a 9.
I have a green. I have a green laser on mine too. I went ahead and bought the laser on mine too. But
Brad has an elephant pistol.
He's got the Dirty Harry gun.
No kidding.
Oh no,
Dirty Harry has never seen anything like this.
Okay, let me check the question.
It's massive.
I'll show
you. Take your 9mm. That's not going to feel good.
Get back,
whether it kills them or not, that's going to hurt. I'm sorry. It's going to be painful. So I think you can probably ward one off with it.
This is a 454 Casulla Ruger.
Oh.
And I'll show you what a bullet looks like for it.
Can I bring you up?
I will. Let's see here. Here's what a 9.
No, how do I do that?
To it.
Hang on. I'm trying to get me out of here and get you up. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, here's a 9mm. Here's the 454 Casulla.
Oh, okay. There's a difference there.
This 9 is what 115 grains. This thing is 325.
Wow,
it's a lot.
So it will. I think from the sense of at nighttime, if that has to get fired, just the muzzle blast and the noise will buy time. Because I mean, the last thing I want to do is shoot one of these. I mean, at all. I mean, that would be horrible because number one, I'd be dead because I wouldn't. I mean, I think that if you see one, you're going to see 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And with that being said, if you injure one,
well, and the party's probably over too.
You're not even going to know what happens, and
no one's going to be shooting a Bigfoot. Let's just make that clear right now.
I mean, if anything gets shot, it'll be shot in the air or in the ground to make them go whoa, and to give us time to back out. I mean, that's the only reason that something like this, and this is a guide gun. This is the type of pistol that if you go fly fishing in Alaska or if you go bear hunting or any type of hunting, the guide will typically have this, and it sits on your chest right here, and you don't want to shoot this. I mean, you don't go out and you might shoot it. I've shot 2 rounds through it, just to know what it feels like, and I mean, you're not shooting it with one hand.
I got you.
It is the last resort. But I mean, this barrel is, look how small the barrel is.
That's going to be
I mean,
so loud.
Oh, I mean, it could potentially bust my eardrums.
And the shorter the barrel, the bigger the kick, right?
Oh yeah, and the muzzle blast it'll be like fire
fireball
coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a. I guess if that gets pulled out, that's when we counter and say, okay, we get your point. You want us out of here. This is buying us time to get out of here.
Well, we want that. We at some point we want some kind of aggression. We want to be able to catch on film them bluff charging or throwing things, screaming. Those, to me, that's a good thing. Of course, we'll probably be backing away to get away if that happens. Who knows?
Well, and two, if Kerry's filming, he's actually more prone than anybody because he's looking at us through the camera, so he won't know what's around him. So he's going to be the one who's actually, we haven't told him this yet, that he would be the one that would be the most prone.
Oh, you might be surprised how much I can see around me.
Yeah,
but you're not wrong.
The good videographers, Brad, always keeps the other eye open. So we see a lot more than you think as you guys are over there going like this. So.
Well, a lot of people think that the cameraman, this is going to be the easy part. No, not at all. No. I mean, he's going to be relying on us and be relying on the drone in the sky. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff.
I've been on a lot of shoots in my day with generals from MacDill Air Force Base to a presidential rally downtown on the streets. I mean, I've seen and been around. I've been fortunate to photograph a lot of things. It's usually in a journalistic type mode where you're in and out and it's over in 30 minutes. I can't imagine the stress of 7 days. I can't imagine the stress of this many people, because whether you like it or not, you're kind of, in your mind, you got to think somewhat you're responsible for them, and you're going to feel bad for 5 or 10 minutes if, someone gets eaten. But you can't think about it,
right?
I mentioned that, and a lot of people, came to me, Kerry, these grown people there know what they're doing. They volunteered. They're responsible. I know all those things. But if something like that does happen, put yourself in my position. This is my idea. What if I wouldn't have had this? What if I was just not even tried this? Then that's kind of where you can go with that. And don't think I haven't thought that far ahead, because absolutely I have.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to hope for the best, obviously, prepare ourselves for the worst, and go from there. We've got medics, we got trauma kits. I've gone as far as I can in taking care of an incident as possible.
What about this question here? I left it up too long. I'm sorry, CK. Will audio be super sensitive? Please elaborate. Thanks.
Several will. Chad Datum is bringing a parabolic, and I want to say signal to decibel range is going to be like 0 to 80, but it has a preamp on it, and it's a parabolic dish with a high sensitivity lavalier microphone. It can detect sounds up to a mile away, just normal range in that 0 to 80 range. Obviously, anything louder than that, you can pick up on anything. But in that range, which is what's comfortable for us to listen to, it's very sensitive. We're going to have to adjust the sensitivity there. We've got that. The microphone I've got is it's a 0 to 60 in that range. It's a smaller dish, and I got a smaller dish just because of where we're going to be going through. There's no, trying to get a 22-inch dish through the bush would be, a tough deal. So it's 10-inch. Sound Shark is what I bought. That Sound Shark, and I'm plugging it into a Zoom H4n with some Sony headphones, and one of the girls are going to be taking that out, just listening.
Yeah, people are into this. Someone's going to get hurt sort of mode here. Jeff Bright, is it? Do you stop it, Bradley?
No,
Do you
I was gonna
foresee?
say something, but I was interrupting.
Oh, you want to do it before I read this
No,
one?
no. Go ahead. I want to hear what you're.
Do you foresee or have a plan or having a situation where 9/11 would be called, and would you call it or respond accordingly on your own?
Of course.
I guess to think that, Chris Rock put some mud on it, put some Robitussin on it, wrap a bandage around it, and move on. You've ever heard the Chris Rock?
Yeah, I wanted
Put some
to.
Robitussin on it.
Hold on.
We're going into a snake, alligator, hog infested place. Yeah, we've thought about these things and what we would do in a case of an incident and someone got themselves hurt. And yeah, we're as prepared, I think, as we can be actionably.
Wouldn't it be nice? So excited to get into audio footage. Wouldn't it be nice having the Florida sounds to go along with the Sierra sounds? You think you're going to capture that for us?
We've heard them. Mark Zansky and I have heard them with our own 2 ears. And they were across the canal 30 feet away, and it was talking. 2 different voices, one deep, one a little bit more high pitched, and they were right there. That's what I'm hoping to capture.
That's crazy.
With them. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say, elaborate back on the 911, the whatnot. I have a device called a Spot X, and part of this yearly service that I pay for is there's an SOS button that if you hit the SOS button, that will alert the proper authorities because it's a satellite receiver. And so wherever we are, if I hit that, it will alert who's ever closest to us that a SOS came in and it's from a verified device, and they will send whomever in because they'll know our exact location because the satellite will have verified it. So that will be going on this trip in case something does happen, snake bite, just whatever, snake bite, you don't want anybody to walk out on, you want them to be as still as possible. So, that's kind of the super secret backup that I haven't been able to explain, even though I've subscribed to it for 10 years.
Yeah, that's interesting because in the RV world, there's a group that does the emergency flights. I can't remember what they are, but it's an insurance policy. So if you get in a 911 situation, you call 911, it's medvac. I mean, it's like covered under the insurance. They come in with a medvac, they take you out, and then they take care of your trailer. They even, if your wife is left stranded and the husband goes down with a heart attack, you're medvaced out, you're taken care of. Someone comes in with a trailer, hooks it all up, drives it home for you and parks it in your backyard. And there's a big insurance policy on that. For the life of me, I can't remember the name, but maybe a lot of us squatchers should look into that. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I like the fact that I travel with a helicopter. I got a bad, I'm a bleeder. So, I carry tourniquets with me.
You're a bleeder. Oh my.
I am. I'm on warfarin. So, I had open heart surgery 8 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yeah, no, I got a mechanical valve. So that's why I didn't sign up.
Wow.
I mean,
you really are a bleeder. Holy Toledo.
No, I got, they literally told me I got 2 minutes. So everyone I hike with, and that's what I tell you what, I hiked with someone I respect as much as you guys. And those who watch my channel know who it was. But I went out with them, and the thing that impressed me the most of that whole day, which was the most incredible day of my life up to this point, was that he asked, okay, and we finished, and we were kind of hanging around, and we're planning some other trips, and he goes, let's talk about our medical conditions. What do you have that I need to be aware about? And I almost dropped. I was like, wow, because it shows you the professionalism of where somebody's at, that they need to know every member on the team, who they got to watch and what they got to watch for. And I opened up my kit and I said, I wear this old belt. It's an old blue belt that you get with your old, palm tree short pants. And I started to throw it away one day and I went, you know what? That's a tourniquet. That's a great tourniquet. I just wrapped it up, coiled it up, threw it in my bag. But yeah, and I'm prepared to do it on myself because.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good ask.
Yeah. That's a good ask. Yeah, you got to know. Like, hey, is anybody on something that I need to know about?
Because initially it kind of irks you because you're going like, I'm invincible. And then you go like, oh well, maybe I kind of not. Since I got fake stuff in me, I guess I'm really not invincible.
Yeah,
So
I
that's a good ask.
I haven't been spooked yet to a point where I had that little situation on my one video, but it wasn't like I couldn't think or help myself. I was still rattled, but I haven't been really scared. And I don't know how high my heartbeat's gonna go or how I'm gonna feel. And I think that's why I didn't, raise my hand, is that it's too big of an ask for me right now until I get more experience. And I've only been at it a year and a half, so I'm just too new to it. I'm learning from you guys, so I'm
but
gonna be watching.
You did tell everyone that you were petitioned for this, right?
That I was what?
You were petitioned to do this.
Oh well, I haven't said much about it because I didn't want to admit that I would probably obviously not sign up, because I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. And like you said, you got to be honest with yourself.
You were.
It's not that I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to help in some way, and I'll do what I can. Especially if you all get something and you think something weird's going to happen. Just remember, I am with a TV station, so the quicker you can reach out to someone in media where this thing isn't taken from you, if you do get that type of proof. I mean, I know it came up in other conversations. It's just something really good to have. And you may even want to make such a deal in the area that you're going. You may want to reach out to somebody that just has a heads up that, you may be slipping them an SD card.
Driving by real fast and
they need to look at it really quick and know what's going on. And if you don't, I'm over here in Tampa. We're a big enough station. We can handle it.
We'll call you. We're going to go live on our YouTube channel.
Oh, wait, I have something for that. And we're getting to that point where I need to do that. So let me throw up this. And I think I have something right here you may want to talk about.
Yeah. We're going to be doing live updates from the field on Hidden Existence. So make sure you go and subscribe. That's Daniela's channel. She's our producer for
definitely
and co-host for Researchers Report. That's her channel, Hidden Existence. She has a really good show over there. Really good discussions. It's serious for the most part, but they have fun too, and I think that's important. But we are going to be doing live updates from the field, either from camp or out. Who knows where we're going to be when we do it? But got to go subscribe there, because that's where we're going to be.
Well, my laptop's going to be on. It's going to be, if it's not doing anything, I'll be on Hidden Existence, because I know she's not going to send out beautiful posters and say coming in 5 hours, because we're not going to want to publicize that either. So you all better just subscribe and make sure you get the notice and you're close by to your smartphone or computer. You're going to miss it.
Yeah, if you get a password to an iCloud account.
Oh, don't even.
It'll be a top of the hour. It'll be a top of the hour type thing, 7, 8, 9, something like that. It won't be like just out of the blue. There'll be a little prep involved in it, and it won't be too late, because Daniela's already up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
At 7 here.
Oh my gosh.
So
she's a warrior.
She is that.
She is.
Yep.
Couldn't have found anybody better.
And make sure. Yep. And make sure she's in the credits.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm pulling for you, Daniel. Okay, there's one other here. I was just scanning for questions. We're about an hour and 3 minutes into this. Florida Bigfoot, Flores Giants. I guess that's Bar. We are in good hands and are as prepared as we can possibly be. Our heads will be on a swivel and our equipment will be bionic eyes and ears. We will be fine, y'all.
Yeah,
I like that. Confidence.
Jimmy Barr.
Confidence, Jimmy. Very nice. Okay, anybody else out there? Did anybody see anything I missed? And if not, I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk with you, being that I'm so new at this. So I appreciate it. I really do. This is a very good idea, getting med info.
It actually is.
Yeah.
We've all been talking to each other for months. So we're pretty, Josh Parsons is the latest ad, and we added him about 2 weeks ago. So everybody's comfortable with one another. It's a lot to add someone late, but we lost Brandon Shoma because of the stuff he's going through with his dad passing away and his uncle same day. So it's is what it is. These guys know each other and are comfortable with one another for sure. In the field, Kerry will rise to the occasion, no doubt. Oh, and what I heard,
bigger than everybody else, he will rise to the occasion.
I know I don't look that big, right? I'm really not that big.
He's linebacker size. He's linebacker size.
And then there was the samurai chatter before that. You want to touch on that?
What we heard, we were walking in this place, what Mark calls Area 4, and it was our 5th or 6th day in a row going in. And so a little complacency, no cameras going, no audio. We're just walking in, just getting in. We're probably 200 or 300 yards in from where we started. And here we're stopped and we can hear they are right there, just across the canal in the bushes. A deep voice. And you hear,
oh man,
what? That's what we did. We just looked at each other like they're talking.
Yeah, my little heart would be going like this.
And we're getting, the cameras up, and I just out of reaction just went, hey, like that, and they shut up. It's the dumbest thing I could have done. But yeah, don't yell at them when you want to capture the audio. But they had to know we were there, and they were probably talking about us. They know we can't get to them. They know we're not getting to them where they are from where we were. There was that 20-foot wide canal of water that no one had ever tried to go across before. And this place was all the stuff you ever saw Mark and Melanie get. They got most of it right there. The really good stuff, the really clear, the big boy sitting there blinking his eyes. Or you'll see he'll have the camera in a fixed position by this tree, and it's zoomed in, and you see a face come in. And then you see that face go out and another face comes in. Like they were trading, trying to jockey and just to take turns watching. Incredible stuff. This is 3-4 years old, that stuff. So that's that place. We're going to be all around that area. We're going to be camping in an area close to where I got surrounded the first time I ever went in there alone. And I was just on a trail. It was, I didn't stay. I left.
Jeez. I know you were working on getting your tent, right? You got a tent for the trip?
I did get a tent. I basically did a lot of research and Consumer Reports, everything else, and then I copied Kerry. Kind of so, and I'm just being facetious. I did zero research. I haven't been in a tent since I've been in 6th grade.
Oh my gosh! Just
so
one of those cameras for that tent, Kerry, please.
Yeah, watching me put up, and Kerry said it's just like, push a couple buttons and the thing pops up, and I'm like, done. Where do I buy this tent?
Remember that shot you liked so much of Justin putting that saw together and all those nice shots and everything? Kerry's going to do that on you, putting up a tent.
Oh, it's going to be
that round thing you see. That's a 4-man tent. You take it out, undo the strap, and throw it up, and it's up.
Is it the one that pops?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, dude, it doesn't pop up. It folds out.
Oh, the one I saw, like you shake it, and it just literally accordions and pops up. There is no assembling.
I akin it to like the Dick Van Dyke Show when the raft opens up in the closet. That's what I'm hoping this tent does. I just go, and there it goes.
I watched the video on it before I bought one. So yeah, and look, $130. It was really cheap. A 4-man tent is huge, and you just have to. And I had one already that I got last year, a 3-man that I didn't set up but once, and didn't set it up the second place. I just slept in my truck because I thought they were all out of their minds to sleep out there where we were. It was so tight. So I stayed in my truck. It's different when you know. When you know what's there. And we smelled them too. It smelled like a freaking zoo when we got out there. So I imagine we're going to run into that. I want these guys to smell this. And we talked about the stuff that we already had, the footprints and hair. It's going to be important that we get those things, because if we get the shot, We're going to need the footprints and the structures and everything else to help validate. You know,
Exactly.
it would be one thing just to get those, but if we just get the shot and not those other things, it's not going to help us very much. Not that I think it's going to hurt us. You know, we have no idea what we're getting ourselves into, really. All we can do is prepare for what we think is going to happen. You know, we can prepare for what we know right now of these areas and the animals that are validated and that exist in the area. We obviously have to prepare for that. But for this creature, what do you do? What do you do? All we can do is what I've been thinking of for the last 3 years. I've been thinking of this, what it would take. What is it going to take to get something better? What are we going to have to do? And I think this is it. It may not be. It may not be. But we're going to try it anyway. No one else has tried this.
It's amazing. You and I, you know, saw the same thing. I was sitting back recovering from knee surgery like Bradley just 2.5 years ago, you know, watching all these channels and just looked at it and realized, how come there aren't professional photographers out here doing this? Why are we not in the hunt, in the fun? It looks like you all have a great time when you go out. And man, you know, the weekend, last Saturday, I went out with Tactical Bigfoot Research out of New York. Mike, great guy, by the way. Tim T, and then ISRTUSA.com team here in Florida. There were 4 teams, and we worked an area in Polk County. I tell you, just watching Tactical Bigfoot Research, Mike, work with his knowledge of policing and, you know, crime scene investigation. I mean, he brought a blue light. He had an app that looked at a footprint and literally did 3D modeling. It took like 22 pictures as you moved it around. Took about 3-4 minutes to build. And then you bring up your cell phone. Oh, I did one today. You bring up your cell phone, and I was practicing. I don't know if I can find it fast enough. It's actually worth seeing. Oh, it's this one. But you take a photo. Let me see if I can bring it up. This is a little sculpture on our table, but look at this.
Oh, wow.
That's trippy.
Okay. So Mike brings this. He starts doing these photos, and I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, it's this app, you know, 3D scanners. It's called 3D something. If you search the app store for 3D scanning on a Droid or smartphones, there's different apps. Mine is actually an app called TRINO. It's $4.99, But if you get a good footprint and you're not carrying, you know, the pancake batter, the plaster to make it, you can stop and shoot this thing. And he's saying that you can actually send this to someone with a 3D scanner and have it printed in 3D. So that's crazy. So I downloaded that up. He also talked a lot of, he brought out a blue light, crime scene light, looking for blood. We found a kill zone. We did all that stuff. He had that, and then Tim was just great with tracking, and just working with that many guys and everybody working together is just a blast. I mean, I can't say enough about the Florida people we got and the people I get to go out with, and just, we all bring something to the table. I'm obviously bringing the camera work, and everyone I go out with ends up buying a gimbal for their iPhone, or, Mike with Tactical Bigfoot is talking about buying a bigger camera, also a gimbal, just because he saw what I was shooting and saw how it worked. I even handed it to him. So it's just everybody's game's going up. And what I learned was, I've said it to you before, I'm not out there to talk over my videos and do this or that or make it sound like I'm doing something. I'm just there to get the shot. And he made me want to care about the research part of it. He made it so interesting, Mike did, that I just texted him like 30 minutes before the show, and he goes, hey, you got me wanting to buy a gimbal and a camera. I said, well, you got me wanting to buy, a crime scene investigative book on how to work a crime scene that he said that's out. And I never thought that it's the same thing. What you do of, how you photograph a crime scene and what you look for and the things we learned. It was just a blast, not to get derailed. But anyway, guys, you got to follow Bigfoot Odyssey if you're not already, and I'm sure 100% of the people here are. If you're not, you got to, because this is happening. This is the biggest thing that I've seen in 3-4 years being interested in it. and it's going to be talked about for 3 or 4 years to come, because I know what Carrie's going to pull off, along with the help of Bradley and his 15 other people you got going.
A lot.
I think you said there were like 17. And I can't appreciate you guys enough to coming on. I'm a new channel. You all didn't have to do this. I just wanted to talk the gear side with you guys more.
Well, we like you.
Why
wouldn't we?
Oh, that's so nice. I appreciate it. But no, it's a blast. I mean, you guys have taught me so much. There wouldn't be a Central Florida Bigfoot if you guys hadn't, let me co-host once. And I think I had 63 viewers when I was on your channel, and within a week I had 460. Within a month, I shot up to 700, and then I just cleared 1,000 like last month. So
awesome. That's great.
yeah. So and that's because of you guys and the chat room that you bring. Your viewers obviously like other channels, and I've been able to come in there and do the job. But I can't thank you guys for letting me have you on to talk, and it's been a blast. Any parting words with you guys before we let the audience go?
No.
Let me answer that question quick. Mark and Melanie, you can find them at Crypto Reality on Patreon. $2 and see some amazing stuff for the most part. If you know what you're looking for, especially, but if you look at some of their older stuff, some of it is pretty subjective, but you are going to see some stuff in there that's going to blow you away.
Very good. Bradley, any parting thoughts?
I was just going to say thank you for having me on and being the first show that I was a guest on. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, if you guys can hang in there, we'll say goodbye to the audience. I'm 1 hour and 16 minutes, which is the shortest show I've had, because I never learned to end a show. So I'm going to say goodbye and thank you guys a lot, and we will see you soon. Go over and make sure you join and friend Hidden Existence now. Thank you guys. Appreciate it, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.